जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। शिल प्रभुपाद की जय, श्री षड गोस्वामी गण की जय, श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य महाप्रभु की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। Thank you once again, dear devotees, for kindly being present here. And I'm very thankful to Param Karuna Prabhu, who is hosting today's session, because Dhameshwar Mahaprabhu Prabhu, he's unable to host today. And we know the reason why. And he's been blessed with uh, a new daughter. And it's so nice to hear. And we all congratulated him in the group. So he's busy, but today we have Param Karuna Prabhu and the host. I'm very thankful to you, Param Karuna Prabhu. And I'm also very thankful to all of you who have kindly assembled here and who are participating in this series of talks to discuss Śrī-Caitanya-Śikṣāṣṭakam. Dear devotees, without any further delay, I'd like to begin the 15th session of Śrī-Caitanya-Śikṣāṣṭakam. You will be able to see the screen now. And I'd like to begin with our verse which we are offering for the first verse of Shikshashtakam. Shikshashtakamritabdhau yo majjanmajjayati svakan sakaurangas tatastatham mam kadabdhau krakshyati swayam. While drowning himself, Sri Gauranga simultaneously causes his near and dear ones to drown in the nectar ocean of Shikshashtakam. I am a mere bystander, waiting at the shore. When will Sri Gauranga forcibly pull me in that nectar ocean? Dear devotees, I'd also like to begin with a verse from Sri Padyavali about Harinam. And Sri Rupa Goswami has compiled Sri Padyavali with many wonderful verses. And there is an entire section on Sri Harinam. And this is a very nice verse from Sri Padyavali. Vicheyani vicharyani vichinthyani punah punah कृपणस्य धनानि वा त्वन्नामानि भवन्तु नः. Sri Rupa Goswami is compiling the verse of a devotee poet who appeared before him. His name was Shri Bhavananda. And Shri Bhavananda says that a miser does three functions with his money. What are the three functions? Vicheyani. Every day a miser collects coins or money lying on the street. Vicharyani. At the end of the day, he counts how many he collected. And vichintyani. Then he meditates on how I can collect more money tomorrow. Kripanasya dhanani iva. So just as a miser does with his money. Twan namani bhavantu naha. May we do the same with your naam, O Bhagwan. May we continuously collect newer and newer names. And at the end of the day, may we count how many we collected. And then may we also meditate on how we can increase the number of names tomorrow. So the three functions that a miser does with his money, that is collecting, counting, and increasing. May we all do the same function with your naam, collecting, counting, and increasing. There's a very nice verse in the Padyavali by the devotee poet Sri Bhavananda. And we are continuing our discussion on the first verse, Cheto Darpana Marjanam. Today, I'll continue where the previous commentators left off because we were discussing sarvātma-snapanam. Now, last week I had said if there is something to discuss in sarvātma-snapanam, I'll discuss it in this week. Otherwise, we'll begin with Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. And there is quite a lot to discuss in sarvātma-snapanam. And therefore, we are continuing the discussion on sarva-atma-snapanam. And this particular term, as we can see on the screen, it means that Shri Krishna Sankirtanam thoroughly cleanses the entirety of one's self. Param Karuna Prabhu, can you kindly read the Anvay in sequence?
Yes, Prabhuji. It cleanses the mirror of the consciousness, eradicates the massive wildfire of material existence, causes a moonlight diffusion that blooms the night water lily of all-round auspiciousness, welcomes the life and soul of the newlywed bride of all divine knowledge, swells the ocean of joy, causes an experience of complete nectarian bliss in each successive syllable as well as word, and thoroughly cleanses the entirety of one's self. That entity named Sri Krishna's Sankirtana reigns supremely victorious.
Wonderful. So we are discussing Sarva Atma Snapanam. Shri Krishna Sankirtanam thoroughly cleanses the entirety of oneself. This is the same translation arranged in a proper sentence format. And dear devotees, last time we saw what is the meaning of sarvātma-snapanam from the previous commentators. And the previous commentator, Sri Veerchandra Goswami, had specified the meaning. He had said that sarvātma-snapanam sarvan atmanas chitta buddhi dehan snapayati. What does Sri Krishna Sankirtanam do? It cleanses, snapayati. Sarva atma. Sarva means entirety of one's atma. And atma, he said, refers to three terms: consciousness, intelligence, and body. In Shastra, the term atma has been used to denote body, mind, intelligence, the soul, consciousness. Many of these things are denoted by the term atma. So, body, mind, intelligence, consciousness, all of these are thoroughly cleansed. Sarva Atma Snapanam by practicing Sri Krishna Sankirtan. And then he gave the reference from the Sanskrit dictionary, Shabda Ratnakar, which says that Atma has various meanings, and he gave various meanings: Swabhav, nature, Prayatna, effort, Dhairya, perseverance. Then the meanings which are relevant to our verse: Chitta, Buddhi, and Deha, body, intelligence, and consciousness. So this is Sarva Atma Snapanam. So Sri Krishna Sankirtanam, it thoroughly cleanses, bathes one's body, mind, intelligence, and one's own self. Dear devotees, once again, Sarva means all round. Atma refers to body, mind, intelligence, and the soul, consciousness, and Snapanam means bathing. Now, bathing gives many effects. One effect of bathing is cleansing. Another effect of bathing is soothing. Another effect of bathing is moistening. All these effects are there in Snapanam, bathing. In fact, in the Hari Bhakti Vilas, Sri Sanatan Goswami quotes a statement by Shri Vidur, who is a Mahajan. And Shri Vidur, his statement is quoted in Hari Bhakti Vilas. This statement is originally in the Mahabharata. And this statement is regarding cleansing of the body. So, Param Karuna Prabhu, we took Atma to have various meanings. Can you tell me what are the meanings of the term Atma that we have just taken?
Intelligence,
Okay.
consciousness, and
Okay.
mind.
Okay. So, body, mind, consciousness, intelligence, all of these meanings are there for Atma. So let's begin with body. Does Shri Krishna Sankirtanam cleanse the body? If a question is asked, what would be our answer, Prabhu?
No.
No, doesn't seem to. Here, Sri Vidur is giving cleansing of body and how it is done and what are the effects of cleansing the body. And these are 10 effects he gives. I will sing the verse, then I'll explain what Sri Vidur is saying. Gunādasha snāna shīlam bhajante balam rūpam svaravarna prashuddhi sparshascha gandhascha vishuddhata cha Shri Saukumaryam pravarascha naryah. Gunādasha, 10 good effects or 10 good results. Snana Sheelam Bhajante are attained by those who bathe regularly. What are the 10 good effects? First, Balam. Those who bathe regularly, they attain strength. Rupam, they attain beauty. Swara Varna Prashuddhi, Shuddhi, purification of Swara and Varna. Swara is better voice. Varna is better skin quality. And Sparshascha, and the skin also becomes supple, so you can, you feel good on touching it. And Gandhascha, and there is fragrance in the body. Vishuddhatacha, there is purity. Shrihi, there is auspiciousness. Saukumaryam, there is youthfulness. And Pravarascha, there is association of Pravaranaryah, association of cultured members of the opposite gender. Members of the opposite gender become attracted. Actually, the verse says Naryah, ladies become attracted. But the same phenomenon is also applicable vice versa. That, the gents also become attracted. The men also become attracted to a lady who keeps clean through bathing. So, these are 10 results attained by those who bathe regularly. Now, if we see, this seems like a regular bath is being spoken about. And Param Karuna Prabhu, do you agree that all of these effects are attained by taking a regular bath?
Yes.
100%. There are two qualities here which are important. That is Vishuddhata, purity, and Shrihi, auspiciousness. So, Prabhu, bathing seems like a very mundane activity. How is auspiciousness attained by simply, putting oneself under a shower? That is a very, very important question, because how is auspiciousness attained simply by throwing oneself under a shower or, taking a bucket and pouring mug after mug over yourself?
Because of the other 9, perhaps.
Because of the other 9, sure. Purity is understandable, our body becomes clean. But auspiciousness, we couldn't understand so nicely. So let's try to understand how bathing gives auspiciousness. Sri Sanatan Goswami in Hari Bhakti Vilas says there are 7 types of snan, 7 types of bathing. Dear devotees, and I will sing the verses and then I will explain what are the 7 types of bathing. Shamna apastu vai mantram mridalambham tu parthivam Bhasmana snanam agneyam snanam gorajasanilam Atape satya vrishtir divyam snanam taduchyate Bahirnadyadishu snanam varunam prochyate budhai Dhyanam yanmanasa vishnur manasam tat prakirtanam. So, bathing by chanting Vedic mantras. And what are the Vedic mantras? He is giving various types of snan, and there are total 7 types. So he's giving various types of snan. So the first type of snan which he is saying, bathing by chanting Vedic mantras. And what are the Vedic mantras? He gives a Vedic mantra from the Atharva Veda. Shamna apaha. Dear devotees, in the Vedas there are different mantras given for different purposes. So there is a mantra in the Atharva Veda, and this mantra in the Atharva Veda, Shamna apo dhanvanyah shamusandvanupyah Shamna gharitrima apah Shamuya kumbha abhrita Shivana santu varshiki. There is a mantra in the Atharva Veda beginning with Shamna apah. This mantra is used for before one bathes. And this mantra in the Atharva Veda says, may water from a well purify me, may water from a river purify me, may water from the ocean purify me. All prayers are done. So this is Shamna Apa. This is mantra. Bathing by chanting Vedic mantras is known as mantra snanam. Then there is something known as bathing by rubbing holy mud, is known as Parthiva snanam. Bathing by rubbing mud. Then bathing with ashes from a yagya is known as bhasma snanam. Bathing in cow dust, which Bhagwan Shri Krishna used to do every day in the morning and the evening. So this bathing in cow dust is known as anil snanam. Bathing in rain shower under the sun is known as divya snanam. Sometimes you will see that the sun is there in the sky and somehow rain starts falling and a rainbow forms. So bathing in such showers is called as divya snanam. Bathing in rivers, wells, etc. is known as varuna snanam. And mentally meditating on Vishnu is known as mana snanam. The devotees, these are 7 types of snanam: mantra, parthiva, bhasma, anila, divya, varuna, and manasa. 7 types. Dear devotees, amongst these 7, what we regularly perform is known as varuna snanam, bathing in rivers, wells, or tap water, etc. The 6th one is what we perform daily. But dear devotees, it is very important to understand that the highest snan or the highest type of bathing is the final one. And Sri Sanatana Goswami and Gopal Bhatt Goswami say in Hari Bhakti Vilas, Snananam manasam snanam manvadyai paramam smritam kritena yena muchyante grihastha api vai dvija. Dvija, or twice born ones. Among all the varieties of bathing mentioned previously, Manasa Snanam, bathing by meditation on Vishnu, is the topmost according to authorities such as Manu, etc. And by such bathing, Grihastha api muchyante, even householders bound up in the material world are liberated. Dear devotees, Snan becomes complete when Shri Krishna's remembrance, Shri Krishna's Sankirtan is added to that particular Snan. This is also specified directly by Bhagwan Krishna in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. In the 27th chapter, he is saying to Sri Uddhav, Purvam snanam prakurvita dhauta dantonga shuddhaye ubhayairapi cha snanam mantrair mridgrahanadina. Purvam snanam prakurvita dhauta danto. Purvam dhauta danto. First, one should get up and cleanse their teeth. So in Vedic culture, as soon as one gets up, one should wash their face and one should clean their teeth. And after cleaning their teeth, then snanam prakurvita. Then in order to purify the body, anga shuddhaye, one should perform snanam. Snanam is bathing in 2 ways. Ubhayairapi, Krishna is saying. What are the 2 ways? Mantrair mridgrahanadina. By chanting mantras, most importantly, first he says, by chanting mantras. Secondly, mridgrahanadina, by applying earth-based ointments, etc. Nowadays, etc. is important for us because we don't apply earth-based ointments. Nowadays, we apply soap. But I have seen in my childhood, especially when it was Diwali, so everybody would take bath using mud-based ointment. Even today, it is available. It is called Uptan. Uptan is mud-based ointment, dear devotees. So it is prepared using various transformations of mud. Then there is fragrant mud. Then you add sandalwood powder to it. Then you add various spices to it. And then you get a powder which is called as uptan. And this uptan is what Bhagavan Shri Krishna is referring to. So let's go back. He's saying they are bathing in two ways. First is by chanting mantras. Second is by applying uptan. Uptan is earth-based ointments. So mrit grahanadina. And sometimes if uptan is not available, at least take mud from a holy place and you can very easily apply it and then wash away your body, because mud is naturally exfoliating. Exfoliating means it cleanses your skin. And in this way, you can take a bath. But mainly mrit grahanadina means using fragrant varieties of mud such as uptan, finely prepared uptan. This is what is referred to here. Also, Sri Krishna has said that mantrair, by chanting mantras. So the main purification to devotees is by chanting mantras. Because snan is purification of the body, but water is only able to touch the skin. And what is inside the body still remains impure. So Param Karuna Prabhu, how do you purify the body entirely when water doesn't even reach the interior portion of the body?
By the mantras?
Yeah. So that, yes, by the mantras. So dear devotees, the only way to purify the body is through the mantras. And for this reason, Bhagavan has said by chanting mantras. Which mantras? Previously, in Mantra Snanam, Shri Sanatan Goswami had specified that mantra from Atharva Veda. But if that is also difficult and it is not for, it is only for those who are second initiated. But for those who are not second initiated, they can chant Harinam. And which Harinam to chant? You can select your favorite Harinam and then you can chant the names of Bhagavan while you are taking a bath. So in this way, in my childhood, I saw in our village, the small children used to be, the parents used to bathe the small children and they used to prepare warm water. And then when the children are taking bath, so my grandfather used to say Shambho Narayan. Shambho Narayan means, Shambho means name of Bhagavan Shiva and Narayan is name of Bhagavan Vishnu. So he used to, with every mug, he used to say Shambho Narayan. So we all used to repeat Shambho Narayan while taking snan. So this is mantra. And then applying earth-based ointments. So in this way, this should be performed. I also remember that my spiritual master had said something about this in this regard. Param Karuna Prabhu, can you kindly read what he had said?
When we bathe only with soap and water and do not utter mantras, then we cannot achieve true purification. Therefore, while taking a bath, all human beings should utter some mantra. For example, Hare Krishna, Sita Ram, Jaya Jaya Gange, etc. Even if a person is taking bath from ordinary tap water, still he must invoke Ganga Devi and the Supreme Lord by uttering their names. Bathing quietly without chanting mantras is okay for animals, not for humans.
So this statement always made a great impact on my mind. At least silently, we should chant. We don't have to disturb all those who are, in the room next by, in the nearby room. But at least silently, we should chant these particular names. And the Hari Bhakti Vilas also says, Ganga Dismaranena. You can remember the river Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati, and then you can chant Bhagwan's Naam as you are taking a snan. So once again, Param Karuna Prabhu, purification in snan is mainly through water or through chanting?
Mainly through the chanting.
Because there may be days when water is not available, but there will be no day when mantra is not available. And we may be in circumstances where we are unable to take a bath. I'll give an example of this. Those devotees who travel long distances. You are in a flight or you're in a train which is 24 hours, sometimes 30 hours. and there's no facility to take a bath. So what do we do in such a situation? Is it still possible, Param Karuna Prabhu, that we can take a bath?
Yes, through mantra snan.
Yes. So mantra snan is the primary snan which is mentioned in Shastra. And mantra snan requires that we perform Śrī-Caitanya-Śikṣāṣṭakam. Dear devotees, sarvātma-snapanam. Atma means body, and body is cleansed, snapanam, by Shri Krishna Sankirtanam primarily. On one level, this is the basic meaning of Sarva Atma Snapanam, the entirety of the body. Body, here we are taking only one meaning of Atma, that is body, and that is cleansed by Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. So this is a new dimension to the term Sarva Atma Snapanam, which we could not explore in the previous talk. And I wanted to explore this particular dimension because if there is something which is untouched, then we should definitely explore that. Of course, there are unlimited ways to look at a verse, but still this is one angle which I wanted to discuss. Also, dear devotees, external purity is very difficult in Kali Yuga. Very, very difficult in this age. This is specified by Bhumi Devi in the 12th canto in the chapter named Bhumi Gita. So Shri Bhumi Devi says something. I will sing the verse. Pumsam kalikritan doshan dravya deshatma sambhavan sarvan harati chittastho bhagavan purushottama. Prabhu, can you kindly read the translation?
In Kali Yuga, objects, places, and even individual personalities are polluted. The Almighty Personality of Godhead, however, can remove all such contamination from the life of one who fixes the Lord within his mind.
Definitely. So, even if one is taking a bath, there may be so many other contaminations. Sometimes people take bath at an improper time. So, you're taking a bath, but the time is very improper. Sometimes people are taking a bath, but the place in which they are taking a bath is polluted. I'll give you an example of this. Previously, the place for evacuation of waste and the place for taking a bath were far away. Like in my childhood, when I saw in my village, so the place for evacuation was far away in a remote field, and the place for taking a bath was separated far away. Nowadays, the place, the uh, the restroom and the bathroom are located in the same room, dear devotees. So that automatically leads to, some chance for impurity. But all these impurities are driven away from the life of somebody who fixes Bhagavan within the mind. And also, uh, especially after one has become impure in body, on many occasions, it is impossible, as I said previously, to cleanse oneself, especially if one is traveling. Therefore, the best type of snan in such situations is mantra snan or manas snan. Manas snan means you remember Bhagwan within the heart in order to purify yourself. But whenever water is available, one should immediately take varuna snan. One should take water bath. But when it is not possible, mantra snan is always there to rescue us. But mantra snan should always be there, irrespective of whether water is available or not available, dear devotees. So this is something to learn for all of us. Therefore, Sri Sanatana Goswami and Gopal Bhatt Goswami specify this very commonly quoted verse in the Hari Bhakti Vilas. Apavitra pavitro va sarvavastham gatopi va yasmaret pundarikaksham sabahyabhyantarah shuchihi. Apavitra, a person may be externally impure. Pavitro va, or he may be externally pure. Or sarvavastham gatopi va, or he may have gone through all varieties of mental contaminations. Yah smaret pundarikaksham. But however, whosoever remembers the lotus-eyed Bhagwan, such a person, bahya abhyantara shuchi, becomes shuchi, thoroughly purified, bahya outside and within. Both purifications are attained by remembering, by chanting Bhagwan's Naam. So this, dear devotees, is Atma-Snapanam, bathing one's body thoroughly. And this verse has a link, and within this verse is also for Atma-Snapanam, for purifying the second interpretation of Atma. The second interpretation is mind. So you can also wash the mind thoroughly by remembering Bhagavan. So dear devotees, this is how purity of the mind is ensured. The verse says sarva avastham gatopiva. Sarva avastham means all situations of mental or physical contamination you might have experienced. Sometimes the mind becomes very contaminated, but purification is ensured by remembering Bhagavan. So dear devotees, we have discussed sarvātma-snapanam, cleansing of the Atma, but we have discussed one meaning of Atma. What meaning have we discussed, Param Karuna Prabhu?
Body.
Body.
Body and partly the mind.
Partly the mind. So we have a connection now. So we can move to the mind. So mind also requires cleansing. And who better cleanser of the mind than Yamaraj? Because Yamaraj, once he disciplines somebody, their mind is nicely cleansed after Yamaraj's discipline. So Shri Yamaraj is making a statement about mental cleansing. And we should all hear carefully, because it is better to hear about him through Shastra rather than hearing him by being directly present in front of him. Dear devotees, so better to hear indirectly through Shastra about what he is saying, because to see Yamaraj in person face to face is not a very good sight. So what Sri Yamaraj says to his assistants in the 6th canto is as follows. Shranvatam granatam viryanyuddamani harirmuhu yatha sujataya bhaktya shuddhenatma vratadivi. He's using the term Atma again here, dear devotee. And Shuddhen, purification of Atma, he's speaking about. What is he saying? Shrinvatam, for those individuals who constantly hear. Grinatam, and who constantly sing. Viryani uddamani, the exalted pastimes of whom Harehe, of Hari. And they do that muhu constantly. The purification of Atma, and Atma here is mind, that is attained by the devotion born out of such acts, is not attained by other processes, vratadivi, such as executing vows, etc. So Atma Shuddhi, Atma here means mind. And who says Atma here means mind? Sri Jiva Goswami in the commentary, Krama Sandarbha commentary to this verse, specifies Atma is Manaha. So the mind is purified to that degree by Sankirtan that it cannot be purified to the same degree by any other process such as vows, etc. In any Vedic ritual, you begin with Bhagwan's Naam, you end with Bhagwan's Naam. So all the Vedic rituals are actually supported on the basis of Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. And purity in all Vedic rituals also comes through Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. Therefore, Sri Yamaraj says purification of mind also is attained by devotion born through chanting and hearing Bhagwan's naams, Bhagwan's pastimes, etc. This, dear devotees, is cleansing of the mind. But this cleansing of the mind is only partial, because after some time the mind again becomes contaminated. You may cleanse the mind, then again it becomes contaminated. You again cleanse the mind, it becomes contaminated. Just like the body. You cleanse the body, again contaminated. Again cleanse the body, again contaminated. Complete cleansing of the mind is possible only on the stage of Shri Krishna Prem. Even on the stage of Bhava Bhakti, some minor contamination still persists. Only on the stage of Prema does contamination from the mind go away completely. The Praman is given by Shri Rupa Goswami himself in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Shri Rupa Goswami says, Ruchim udbahatastatra जनस्य भजने हरे विषयेषु गरिष्ठोऽपि रागः प्रायो विलीयते रुचिम उद्वहतस tatra. For an individual who is udvahata, who is having ruchi, genuine ruchi on what? Bhajane hare, on the path of bhajan, on the path of hari bhakti. For such a person, vishayeshu garishtopi, even the deep attachment to sense objects, ragaha, that attachment, prayo viliyat, is almost nullified. The key word here is almost. For somebody who has attained ruchi, all material attachment is almost nullified. Question arises, why not fully nullified? So Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains, prayo viliyate, almost nullified, even on the stage of ruchi. Iti bhaktau praveshanantaram vishaye kinchid raga satvepi na dosha. He says, which means that even after entering the path of bhakti, if there is attachment remaining to material objects, some attachment remaining, there is still no fault. The devotee is not at fault. Param Karuna Prabhu, if a particular devotee has entered into the path of bhakti and has not yet attained the stage of prema, isn't it natural that such a devotee will have material attachments within them?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So, should we blame the devotee for that?
We should not.
We should not. As long as the devotee is sincere, genuinely trying. So we cannot blame a devotee for having those material attachments. Shri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, Kinchid raga sattva. If some material attachment remains, everything else is destroyed. Maybe one or two attachments are remaining. Na doshaha. It is not a fault, dear devotees. It is not a fault. So when will this fault go away then? So then Shri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, Bhakte, within that devotee, paripakat, when the devotee becomes mature and attains prema, tadapi samasthena yasyati, that will completely go away. Iti bhava, this is the mood of the verse. At the stage of prema, the fault will completely go away. The devotees. Even at the stage of bhava, some minor attachments may remain. At the stage of prema, completely it goes away. So, sarvātma-snapanam, complete cleansing of mind, Param Karuna Prabhu, is at which stage?
Prema.
Prema. But you can do nitya atma-snapanam, daily cleansing of mind also by Sankirtan. Till you attain sarva atma-snapanam, complete cleansing of mind, you can do nitya atma-snapanam, daily cleansing of mind by Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. Just select your favorite naam, whichever naam you like. And when you are taking a bath, silently, or if there is nobody around, loudly sing it out. Or at the beginning of the snan, at the beginning of the bath, you can chant it once for purification. But if you are attached to the naam, you can keep singing it again and again. So in this way, one can take snan and one can cleanse the body, and that chanting also cleanses the mind. But complete cleansing will only occur at the stage of prema. This is what is to be understood. Now, another meaning of Atma is consciousness. Intelligence, consciousness, all those terms are combined. So, in that same Bhumi Gita, Mother Earth is saying something. What is she saying? She says, Vidya tapah prana nirodha maitri तीर्थाभिषेक व्रतदान जप्यै नात्यंत शुद्धिं लभते अंतरात्मा यथा हृदि स्थे भगवत्यनन्ते. So one cannot attain thorough purity by vidya. Vidya usually means knowledge, but Sridhar Swami says devata upasana, by worshipping the various devatas. Tapah, one cannot attain thorough purity by austerities. Prana nirodha is pranayam, control of breath. Maitri is compassion towards other living entities. Tirtha abhisheka, bathing in sacred rivers. Vrata, executing vows. Dana, giving charity. Or japyai, by silently chanting Vedic mantras. One cannot attain such purity by these processes, but it is attained Labhate antaratma yatha hridhi sthe bhagavati anante. So one's atma attains purity when Supreme Lord becomes situated within the heart, dear devotees. So it is very important to understand antaratma, na atyant. Antaratma means one's inner atma, one's consciousness, one's own self, one's soul doesn't attain that purity by all these processes as it attains when Bhagavan naturally comes and sits on the seat of the heart. This is what is the intention of Bhumi Devi when she is uttering the verse. This does not mean that one should stop taking water snan. This does not mean that one should not visit the holy places. But all other purifications are secondary to the purification given by Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. This is the main crux of the verse. So this, dear devotees, is very important for us to understand. Now, Param Karuna Prabhu, one meaning of Snapanam is taking a bath. Another meaning of Snapanam is Jaladina Abhishinchanam, to actually be nourished by, or to actually feel happiness, to actually feel nourished by taking a bath with various liquids. When we perform Abhishek of a deity, Param Karuna Prabhu, can you name some of the liquids which are poured on the deity?
Milk, yogurt,
All right.
juices,
All right.
coconut water, honey,
Right.
so many
Prabhu,
things.
if we want to give a common name, Sanskrit name to all these juices, what common name can we give?
Rasa,
Yes, wonderful. Vividhai rasai. Through various rasas, Snapanam takes place. The Abhishek takes place. Not only through water. Water is the first one, or perhaps water is one of them. Initially, in some places, initially they bathe it through water and then they put other rasas. The water is only one of them. But actually, Snapanam, detailed Snapanam, is to bathe using various rasas. Because while bathing through these various rasas, every ras here means the liquid. Every fragrant liquid leaves a fragrance on the body of Bhagavan. So that is why we use so many fragrant liquids to bathe the body of Bhagavan. So another meaning of Snapanam is that your entire body, your entire mind, your entire consciousness becomes drenched by ras. This is actually Snapanam. And this is specified in the favorite verse of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Param Karuna Prabhu, do you know which is the favorite verse of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the most important verse of Srimad Bhagavatam?
Ete Chamsha Kalapamsha, is it that one?
No.
So many favorite. Tatte Nukampam.
No. Evam vratah sva priyanama kirtya jatanuраgo drutachitta uchai hasatyathoroditi rautigaya tyunmadavan rityati lokavaya. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's guru told him this is the essence of Srimad Bhagavatam, according to Sri Ishwar Puri, this verse is the essence of Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhagavater Sar, in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said, Evam Vrataha, a person who has taken a sacred vow. Which vow? Of singing names. Which names? Swapriya Nama Kirtya. Singing names which are Swapriya, which are dear to him. What happens when he does that? Jata Anuraga. He finds Anurag, genuine attachment. Drutachitta, and his heart melts in love. Uchchai, then loudly he does something. Hasati, he laughs. Atho, and at other times, Roditi, he cries. Rauti, he screams out. Gayati, bursts out in songs of devotion. And Unmadavan Rityati, and dances like a madman. Why? Because Loka Bahya, he has become Bahya, he has gone beyond the ways of the world. He's unconventional devotee. He is not your conventional devotee bound by rules and regulations. He has become an unconventional devotee. So, Prabhu, Dhruta Chitta, something has melted within. what has melted within?
The heart.
The heart has melted. Why has the heart melted? Because of what?
Because of the crying and...
Of course, because of experience of bhakti ras. It is showing in the melting of his heart. Atma-snapanam. Prabhu, isn't bhakti ras showing on his body? Please tell me.
Absolutely.
Yes. Sarvātma-snapanam. Bhakti ras is bathing his body. Bhakti ras is bathing his mind. Bhakti ras is bathing his heart. And he cries or screams out sometimes. Prabhu, crying and screaming out doesn't seem like a symptom of joy. It seems like a symptom of great distress, isn't it?
Yes, but we understand the other side as well.
So please tell me, what is the other side?
Crying out either in joy, as one, we have experienced it in material life, crying and screaming. I mean, we can see it in sports, or when the favorite team wins, there is a lot of crying and screaming, or when, in the last ball you hit a six, which was needed to win the match. Or also for, when you desperately, care for someone deeply, then also there is crying and screaming for
Wonderful.
them.
Wonderful. So, the devotees crying or screaming out as an experience of ras is not at all distressful. It is one of the highest joys that one can have. And for this devotee who's crying or screaming out, it is purely joyous. There is no suffering for such a devotee. Absolutely no suffering for such a devotee. Crying in prema is supremely joyous. In fact, Sri Jiva Goswami says in the beginning of Priti Sandarbha, Purusha Prayojanam Tavat Sukha Praptir Dukkha Nivrittischa. The ultimate aim of human life is twofold. What is it? Sukha Prapti, to attain happiness, and Dukkha Nivrittischa, and to completely remove all suffering. And he says, Shri Bhagavat Pritautu, on the stage of Prema, Bhagavat Priti, Sukhatvam Dukkha Nivartakatvam cha Atyantikam. These two factors are seen in their greatest degree on the stage of Prema. So, Prabhu, removal of suffering when taken to the maximum degree is Prema. So, can suffering be present in a devotee who is experiencing Prema? Please tell me.
No.
Absolutely not. It will go against the very definition of Prema given by our Acharya, Srila Jiva Goswami Prabhupada. So in Bhagavad Priti says, Bhagavad Pritautu Sukhatvam, the happiness is also of the ultimate degree. And Dukkha Nivartakatvam cha, and removal of suffering is also Atyantikam, is of the ultimate degree. There is no question of suffering of a devotee, even if the devotee is crying. So there is no suffering at all. Once it happened with Sri Madhavendra Puri, at the very end of his life, he was crying, "Oh, I could not get Krishna. Oh, Krishna, I lost Krishna. Mathura Nath Kadavalokya." He was singing that verse in the mood of Sri Radha. And then Ramchandra Puri came and said, "Why are you crying? You should study Vedanta and merge in the impersonal Brahman." Then he put his hand on it. "Why did I make such a disciple? Alas, I have one such disciple, who doesn't understand my mood." So Sri Ramchandra Puri could not understand the that the suffering of the Sri Madhavendra Puri was actually the highest joy to be experienced. So this cause of joyous experience, even in suffering, is bhakti ras. And many times I have given this example. Sri Sanatana Goswami says, if you put your hand in fire, the hand will burn and it will become black in color, blackish in color. And the cause of that burning sensation and the changing of color is fire. If you put the same hand in frozen ice, again your color of hand will change and you will experience burning sensation. It is called frostbite. but the cause this time is completely different. So the external symptom appears to be the same, burning sensation and the changing of color of hand, but the cause is exactly opposite. Similarly, yeah, even in the case of devotees, they may be seen to be crying or shouting out loudly, but the cause is completely opposite and it is a fully joyous experience. This is what is supposed to be understood. What to speak of bhakti ras? Even ordinary ras of material world is non-material. Ordinary ras in material world, which is experienced by the poets or which is experienced by the expert connoisseurs of art who go and watch a drama, even that ras is spoken of as non-material. Shri Vishwanath Kaviraj, he is different from Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Vishwanath Kaviraj is from Odisha. So Shri Vishwanath Kaviraj, in his magnum opus Sahitya Darpanam, which is a standard textbook which was studied by the six Goswamis. So in Sahitya Darpanam, he says, what is rasa? Satvodrekad khandasva prakashananda chinmayah vedyantara sparsha shunyo brahmananda sahodara. He defines characteristics of rasa in this world. How do we experience rasa in this world? He says, Sattva udrekat, when sattva gun completely suppresses the other two modes, rajogun and tamogun, in the heart of a connoisseur, an expert person. What happens? Then this rasa manifests. And how does this rasa manifest? Unbroken, self-illuminating. And he says, chinmaya, spiritual joy, in the form of rasa becomes manifest. And at that time of experience of rasa, what happens? Vedya antara sparsha shunyo. Not even a small trace of anything else is experienced. Your mind becomes completely one with that experience. Vedyantara sparsha shunyo. Not even a small touch of any other experience remains in the mind. And this is the same situation as Brahmananda, because at the stage of samadhi, nothing else remains in your mind. So he says, Brahmananda Sahodara. This rasa is indeed the sibling of Brahmananda. This is rasa in the material world. Very expert poet, Shri Vishwanath Kaviraj. He defines how rasa is attained. Many times people think, I'll go watch a drama, I'll go watch a movie, and what I am experiencing there is rasa. That is not exactly rasa. You need a culture. You need a cultivation to experience rasa. Sattvodrekat, sattva gun should completely illuminate your heart. So it cannot be, rasa is not manifest in the hearts of those whose hearts are having rajogun and tamogun. You may have some sanchari bhav, some transitory emotion may come, but don't mistake that transitory emotion for rasa while watching a drama. Rasa is a completely divine transcendental experience, and even in the material world while watching those dramas. So we should not confuse our sanchari bhavas, our transitory emotions while watching dramas or movies. We should not confuse them with rasa. Because all of this particular verse is speaking about material world, dramas and poetries in the material world. So rasa actually is attained when sattva gun dominates the heart, so completely suppresses all other gunas, and only that one experience fully overtakes you, and then you get an experience similar to the experience of samadhi. That is when you know that you have tasted ras in the material world, not otherwise. So otherwise it's only sanchari bhav, some temporary feeling is coming and going, that's all, nothing else. And Sri Vishwanath Kaviraj says in that very same place, he raises a question. Actually, he raises a question, and that particular place, he says that what happens, when, especially when he says, Karunadinam rasanam dukkhamayatvad rasatvam na syat. Karunadinam rasanam. Sometimes you go watch a drama on Ramayana, and Ramayana is Karun ras. Karun ras is piteousness. And piteousness should make you unhappy. So by watching dramas of Ramayana, shouldn't it make you unhappy? Because Ramayana is filled with episodes of unhappiness. In the beginning, Bhagwan Ram is taken away by Vishwa. In the beginning, Dashrath doesn't have a son, unhappiness. Then Bhagwan Ram is taken away by Vishwamitra, unhappiness. And when he comes back, he's sent to the forest for 14 years, unhappiness. Then Sita Devi is kidnapped, unhappiness. And he suffers separation for 1 year, unhappiness. After coming back also, Sita Devi is tested in the fire, unhappiness. then she doesn't stay for a long time with him. Unhappiness. From beginning to end, Shri Valmiki Muni has ensured that Ramayana becomes a classic tragedy. It is tragedy, it is Karun Ras. So there are many dramas in the Western world which are tragedy. Shakespeare's dramas are tragedy. But Valmiki Muni's drama, it comes from the spiritual world and it is a classic tragedy. It is perhaps the first tragedy in human history, written in the form of poetry. So when we are seeing Ramayana being performed on the stage, we should also feel sad. So then Sri Vishwanath Kaviraj says, Karuṇāda vapirase jayate yat param sukham sachete sam anubhava pramanam tatra kevalam. Karuṇāda vapirase jayate yat param sukham. Even in Karunaras, there is supreme joy experience. Param rasam. And sachetasam anubhava pramanam tatra kevalam. The only proof is the testimony of rasikas. Those who have experienced that rasa, they will tell you, I want to watch it again. I want to watch it again. I want to watch it again. Previously, when a drama troupe would come to a village, they wouldn't stay for long in the village. They would move to another village. And then you would have people chasing them from village to village because they want to see that same drama again. That is what used to happen. There'd be, as the drama troupe moves, there will be some people who are so excited by the drama of Ram Leela that they will walk behind that drama party and then they will watch in the next village. So, sachetasam anubhava pramanam. So, the experience, the testimony of rasikas is the only proof in this regard. So, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Those who have tasted that rasa will know that it is supremely joyous. And for those who still don't understand how suffering can be joy, Shri Vishwanath Kaviraj gives another example which will make it clear to everybody. Shri Vishwanath Kaviraj says, Surate dantak hatadibhya iva sukham eva jayate. Surate, when a boy and a girl make love to each other, the biting of teeth, nails, teeth marks, hitting each other, although it is those are externally acts of giving pain, but they ultimately end up in a joyous condition of mind. Now, this is something which only a poet can make such a remark, that such acts, even though externally they may appear to be painful to a person who is not like-minded, but the person who is like-minded, for them, they are supremely joyous. In this way, the transcendentalness even of rasa on the material world is explained by the previous acharyas. What then to speak of rasas in the spiritual world, which trivialize material rasas in all dimensions? In all dimensions. Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan, he says, complete bathing in bhakti ras happens. After you start experiencing bhakti ras, something happens. After you start experiencing ras, some after effects start coming. Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan gives the after effects of experiencing bhakti ras. Sri Baldev Vidyabhushan says, अनुभवस्तुरत्यादेरुपजातस्मितादिकः सात्विकः स्तंभ रोमांच वैवर्ण्य स्वेद संलया स्वरभंगाश्रुकंपाश्च रसज्ञैरष्टकीर्तिता. Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan says the anubhavas, the physical reactions on your body will also start showing when you experience bhakti ras. What are the physical reactions on your body? You will smile, you will laugh, you will cry. All these are known as anubhavas. Anubhavas, they follow your main sthai bhav. Therefore, they are known as anubhavas. They come after your main sthai bhav. After your experience of ras, they come. So they are known as anu. Anu means after the bhav, anubhavas. So your physical reactions are smiling, laughing, crying, falling on the ground. All of them anubhavas are there. So many are there, which are born out of the experience of ras. And then there are sattvic bhavs, psychophysical reactions, mainly mental, and it also shows on the body. Psychophysical reactions are 8. What are they? Getting stunned. Prabhu, getting stunned shows on the body as well as in the mind. True or false?
Yes, Prabhuji.
See, all of them I will say, you please think in your mind whether they pertain both to the body and the mind. Standing of hair on end.
Both.
Yes. Fading of skin tone.
Both.
Yeah. Sweating.
Both.
Unconsciousness.
Both.
Both. Faltering of speech, tears and shivering, all of them, they are
Yeah.
psychophysical, partly psychological, partly physical. So they are known as satvika bhav, psychophysical reactions of experiencing ras. So Prabhu, not only body, also the mind, also the heart, everything. Sarvātma-snapanam. It happens only by Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. This snapanam originally means cleansing, but snapanam also means taking a royal abhishek in varieties of rasa. Both are meanings of snapanam. So we not only discuss the meaning of snapanam as cleansing, but we also discuss the meaning of snapanam as taking a royal fragrant bath through in various rasas and bhavas. Sarva atma snapanam. Param vijayate. Now we can say all glorious is, supremely victorious is Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. But there is one more snapanam, this snapanam, the final Atma snapanam that we desire, especially we Gaudiya Vaishnav desire, is described by the previous acharyas. Prabhuji, is there any other snapanam remaining? Please tell me.
I'm thinking. Seem to have covered everything.
There must be some snapanam remaining. Of course, there's unlimited variety to the verse, but there is one other snapanam remaining, and which is most important for us Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Most important.
Separation.
What is the meaning of snapanam? Snapanam means taking a bath, cleansing, purification. We can't depart from that meaning. Which snapanam is remaining?
So we covered the heart.
Okay.
We covered mind, consciousness, body.
Yeah. So we covered snapanam through water, through a bath. We covered snapanam through mantras. We covered snapanam through rasa. And now one final snapanam is remaining. And that final snapanam, dear devotees, is snapanam, bathing in the mercy of Shri Radha by bathing in Radha Kund. That final snapanam, dear devotees, is sarvātma-snapanam, because that also is bathing, our final bathing. And we had discussed in great detail in Sri Upadeshamritam that finally that is where we want to have sarvātma-snapanam. That is where we will have our complete purification as well as complete attainment of our bhakti rasa. So Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, in the final verse of Shri Radhikashtakam, he says something. This verse is in the meter Malini. I'll try to sing it. Amal kamal raje sparshivata prashite निज सरसि निदाघे सायमुल्लासिनीयम् परिजन गण युक्ता क्रीडयन्ति वकारिं स्नपयति निज दास्ये राधिका मां कदानु. He says snapayati. He is also desiring snapanam. But which snapanam? Nija dasye. Bathing in Shri Radha Dasyam. Bathing in the servitude of Shri Radha. But in which location? So that location is also specified here. Radhika Mam Kadanu. When will Shri Radha, who on a summer evening, Nidage Sayam, who happily plays with Shri Krishna by her own kunda, Nija Sarasi, you can see on the second line, Nija Sarasi, by her own kunda, cooled by breezes, touched by many splendid lotuses. When will that Shri Radha bathe me? Snapayati kada. When will she bathe me? In her dasya, in her personal seva. Dear devotees, this will be our final sarvātma-snapanam. Param vijayate. And this will happen by that entity which is supremely victorious. And which entity is that which is supremely victorious, Param Karuna Prabhu? Please tell me.
Shri Krishna Sankirtanam.
Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. So Shri Krishna Sankirtanam will take us to this final sarvātma-snapanam on the banks of Sri Radha Kund, where Sri Radha will personally be present and all the Sakhis will personally be present. And when we are introduced at that particular point of time, in that Radha Kund, in a spiritual body, our final bathing will be our sarvātma-snapanam. Param Vijayate, Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. All glories, supremely victorious, is that Shri Krishna Sankirtanam, which will give us this final sarvātma-snapanam. Dear devotees, I'll pause my speech here. Yadatra skalitam kinchid vidvam sah purayantu tat. Yadatra saushthavam kinchid. Tad guroreva me nahi. Yadatra skalitam kinchid. If there's any mistake in what I spoke, vidvam sah, your learned devotees purayantu tat. Please correct any mistakes. But yadatra saushthavam kinchid. If there's anything nice, please remember, tad guroreva. It belongs to my gurujanas. Me nahi, doesn't belong to me. I am also standing in the queue for sarvātma-snapanam. So kindly, dear devotees, be merciful towards me so that Bhagwan Shakti will consider me for sarvātma-snapanam. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Jai Shad Goswami Gan. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Shri Hari Pārṣad Prabhu ki jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for such a sweet class and how you gave so many different meanings of Snapanam. Didn't imagine that it could be so broadly discussed, even at the level of the body. And then you, of course, brought it to the core essence of cleansing of the heart. And finally, taking a bath in the Radha Dasya Bhava at Radha Kund. Thank you so much. So we'll proceed with question answers. So please remember, try to keep your questions brief, to the point, to today's topic. More detailed questions can be asked through the WhatsApp chat group. And please keep your questions free of any person or institutional bent. Keep them generic and not pointing towards any specific or any kind of loading, and keep them informal, and let's have the benefit of all the knowledge and bhava that Hari Pārṣad Prabhuji has and try to learn from it, which is very rare to have in this world. Thank you.
If somebody wants to join the WhatsApp groups, and if they're watching this on YouTube, you can send an email to this email address, Siksastakam.hpd@gmail.com. And please mention your WhatsApp number with country code, because we don't know which country you are sending your email from. So please mention your WhatsApp number along with your country code if you want to join the WhatsApp groups. There are two WhatsApp groups. One is only for notifications. That WhatsApp group doesn't have many messages, and the other is for Q&A, which has many messages being exchanged because many question and answers related to Śrī-Caitanya-Śikṣāṣṭakam are being discussed. So whichever group, if you're comfortable with both groups, we can add you to both the groups. If you're comfortable only with the announcement group, we can add you to that. So whichever group you wish to be added to. Thank you.
So we'll start the Q&A. Vishwadeep Prabhu, if you would want to go ahead. You can start speaking. We can't hear you. You look unmuted on Zoom, but we can't hear you.
Okay, we'll come back to him. Maybe he has to fix his mic or something. Let's come back to him.
We'll go to Dorothea Mataji.
Hare Krishna. My pranams. In Natya Shastra, I saw it mentioned that for a drama to be successful, it has to appeal to a wide variety of audiences. And for example, those who are righteous, they feel themselves empowered in their righteousness, and those who are intellectual, those feel empowered in their expressions of intellect. So and the same is also I feel also for the Katars of Haripasha Prabhu, that everybody, there's so many varieties of devotees coming, and everyone has found something that has empowered them. And so my question for today would be that you mentioned that the anubhavas, like there was in the translation anubhavas and sattvika bhavas was they were together mentioned in one translation, and I was wondering if the sattvika bhavas are part of the anubhavas or are they separate?
Yeah,
Thank you.
the Sattvika Bhavas are a type of Anubhav because they follow the main bhav, therefore they are a type of Anubhav. But at the same time, they are Sattvika, they arise from Sattva. What is the meaning of Sattva? The meaning of Sattva is when one's mind becomes one with the mind of the character with whom one is empathizing. These arise after that oneness of mind. So they arise from sattva, therefore they are called sattvika. So that is the reason why they are called sattvika. And due to oneness of sattva, oneness of mental conditions of the ashray and vishay. So that is when sattvika bhavas arise. So therefore they are placed in a separate category, although they are a type of anubhav. But Bharat Muni has categorized them separately because they deserve a special mention, because they are arising from that oneness of the minds of Vishay and Ashray of the rasa. So that is the answer to the query.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Kamniya Krishna Prabhu and Kamla Mataji.
Hare Krishna Babuji, my humble obeisances at your lotus feet and obeisances to the Param Karuna Babu and all the Vaishnavas. Wishing you very blissful and Krishna conscious year today, everyone. A very wonderful session, Babuji, as usual. So, you mentioned that how the activity of bathing, which is probably the most important activity from the morning into day-to-day life, can cleanse our body, mind, intelligence everywhere. So, Prabhuji, my question was like you said that we should chant the mantras while taking a bath. So, like Gange, Yamune,
Right.
like that, or maybe Shri Krishna. So, can we also chant the Mangalacharan like Om Agyana Timirandasya, starting from there to enter
Yeah.
Mangalacharan?
Yeah, because Mangalacharan is auspicious invocations and invoking auspiciousness, and there are so many names of Bhagavan within the Mangalacharan also. Shri Radha, Krishna Padan, Sahagana Lalita, Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha, Hey Krishna Karuṇā Sindho. Or what is Mangalacharan? It mainly consists of Bhagavan's names and Guru's names.
Correct, correct.
So you are anyways doing Nam Kirtan there. So that's all right.
Okay, okay, so we can do that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Vishwajit Prabhu, are you? Let's try once again. No. You look unmuted on Zoom. So you're something wrong.
He wants to speak, but he's experiencing sattvic bhav, so he's stunned. That's the only explanation possible, I think.
All right. We'll try again.
Right.
Bhavya Bhagwan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Haribhasha Prabhu Datnam. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Prabhu, thank you for this wonderful session on this wonderful topic, sarvātma-snapanam. Prabhuji, I wanted to understand, I was hearing some of your other classes as well. So in those classes, you mentioned that like one can read Bhakti Rasayanam to relish the rasa. If the heart is very like dry, then how to relate with rasa? One can invoke rasa through reading Bhakti Rasayanam. And then you mentioned that Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, Preeti Sandarbha, and I think another book you had mentioned, Prabhuji. So, Prabhuji, is there a sequence for reading these books, and what are the different purposes for reading these books? Like, what I could understand is Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu can very well help us understanding the philosophy behind the rasa and Preeti Sandarbha. So, what is the role of Preeti Sandarbha and Bhakti Sandarbha, and like what all recommendations, Prabhuji, are there? Thank you.
See, the Sandarbhas are supposed to be read in sequence. Tattva first, Bhagavat second, Paramatma third, Krishna fourth, Bhakti fifth, and Preeti sixth. This is the sequence in which the Sandarbhas are supposed to be read. Preeti is the final Sandarbha. I was speaking about devotees who are on a stage where they have understood the philosophy, they've understood the importance of bhakti, and they wish to dive deeper into what is Bhakti Ras. So the first textbook of Bhakti Ras for the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya is Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. Everybody should acquaint themselves with the terminologies and framework given within Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. That is 101, what we call in American English 101. That is the 101. It is the primer of Bhakti Ras that one should go through. And also Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu has many valuable comments by Shri Jiva Goswami and Shri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Shri Mukunda Das Goswami. So those valuable comments also help us understand what is Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. Without those valuable comments, we cannot understand what is Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. So we need to understand Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu with the commentaries of the previous acharyas. Because the name of Sri Jiva Goswami's commentary is Durgama Sangamani. She who walks with you, Samgamani. She who walks with you in difficult places. Durgama Sangamani. So she who walks with you in difficult places, which means that there are some difficult places in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. So you need a commentary as an assistant lady who will walk with you in those difficult places. And that commentary is Sri Jiva Goswami's Durgama Sangamini. That is the name of his commentary. So study Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu with the commentaries, and then Preeti Sandarbha will confirm many of the principles of Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, but there is a detailed analysis of Preeti, Bhagavad Preeti of all the rasas also in Preeti Sandarbha, also from a Siddhantic point of view. And then once you have the association of Rasika devotees and that culture of relishing rasa is established in your heart, then you can read the devotional poetries, Stavamala, Stavavali, Gopal Champu, etc. to relish the bhakti rasas yourself. Or if you have a group of devotees who are willing to carry out a drama, then Lalit Madhav, Vidagdha Madhav, so Jagannath Vallabh Natakam by Sri Rai Ramananda. So this can be carried out. If you have good singers, then Sangeet Madhavam, Geet Govindam. There's unlimited venues for experience of ras. But first, the framework should be made by Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu and Preeti Sandarbha. And Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu also with the commentaries, because many of the details are in the commentaries. That is my answer to your query. Thank you.
Prabhuji, one quick follow-up. So the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu by Sripad Haridas Shastri Ji.
Well, I cannot. I'll not get into specific names because my own reading of Samrit Sindhu was through the original Sanskrit. You will see in the in these talks also, I just refer directly to the Sanskrit. So I usually just read directly from the Sanskrit. My style of studying is very clear. I was told by my Guru Maharaj that you should study any text in the language in which it was written. So I study any text in the language that it was written. So that has been my approach. Sometimes if I get stuck somewhere, there are old Bengali translations of Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu also, which I may refer if I get stuck somewhere. If some printing mistake is there, I cannot understand a particular phrase. There are some old Bengali editions of Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, which are translated in Bangla. So sometimes some of them give a hint as to how it should be read. Otherwise, most of the places I'm able to read through the original language. So that has been my particular approach. In your case, if you need a translation, then you can try to ask various Vidwans as to which translation is the best. There are quite a few number of translations in English as well as in Hindi, and there are currently also there are some attempts at translation going on. So, Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu is an evergreen project, and there will be translations going on all the time. So, my respects to all the translations, including the translation that you mentioned. My respects are to all the translations. That would be my answer to the query.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Prabhuji. We'll go to Shri Ishopanishad, Prabhu.
Shri Mataji.
Shri Ishopanishad Mataji, I'm sorry.
Jai, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Please accept my pranams. All glories to your wonderful, wonderful, ecstatic lecture. My question is that you quoted from verse 11, 240 of Srimad Bhagavatam.
Hmm.
And that verse, I went right to it and it just touched my heart. But my concern is for what of those who are not familiar with Sanskrit, you know, if they can't say this prayer to receive the mercy, what else can you suggest for those other souls, like people in our family, you know, that just, you know, they won't comprehend that? Is there another way? Is this the only way? There has to be another way besides the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Although to me, it probably is, but to someone else, how do we connect?
Param Karuna Prabhu, did you get the query?
Not very clearly. Maybe we should request Mataji to paraphrase in a slightly different way.
Mataji, can you
I don't think I can.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is that by chanting of the holy name of the Supreme Lord in the translation, one comes to the stage of love of Godhead.
Oh, okay.
And so that's the holy name. There are other holy names. I'm just, you know.
Oh, of course.
What if we, you know, so this applies to, what if someone is not familiar with this holy name? You understand what I'm saying? Is there some other way that they can still achieve the same goal?
Of course they can achieve. They can achieve not only by kirtanam, they can achieve by smaranam, by padasevanam, by archanam, vandanam, dasyam, sakyam, atmanivedanam. They can achieve prema by all the methods, and this is proved in the Brihad Bhagavatamritam. I will share the verse from Brihad Bhagavatamritam and I will sing the verse. And Mataji, you read the translation of the verse. All right, I will sing the verse. The verse is in front of you. I'll sing the verse. Pritiryato yasya sukham chayena samyak bhavet tadrasikasya tasya tat sadhanam shreshtatamam susevyam sadhirmatam pratyuta sadhya rupam. Mataji, please read the translation.
Whatever the devotional method by which a man with true spiritual taste feels satisfaction and complete joy, that is the method saintly authorities deem most excellent and effective for him. It is not only the best of methods, but the very aim of his endeavor. Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.
So this is direct praman from Sri Sanatana Goswami's Brihad Bhagavatamritam 2.3.152. You can note down this praman and memorize this verse, and there you have it.
Jai, thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Oh, thank you, Prabhuji. How you give such accurate praman.
Yeah, I could not understand the query. Once I understood the query, then it came up. So I was having difficulty in understanding the query, that's all. But that praman is given by Sri Sanatana Goswami. It's very clear.
We'll try Vishwadeep Prabhu one more time.
All right. Final chance.
Am I now audible, Prabhu?
Yeah. Oh, nice. Now, Bhav Shanti. Now you came out of your... Wonderful.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Such a nice class. And actually, we don't find such classes where the Bhagnavaranta of material rasa is spoken about. So, and with such wonderful quote of Siddhanta Darshan. So thank you for such a nice class.
Yeah, material rasas,
Prabhu,
material rasas are, to understand the concept of material rasas, how Bharat Muni presented them, Laukik ras as we call it. It has been important because Sri Rupa Goswami Natak Chandrika says one should understand Bharat Muni's Natya Shastra, Rasaranav Sudhakar, because the material world is what is immediately accessible for the sadhaka. And the framework of rasa, which is available in the material world, can be very easily understood. And that framework originally comes from the spiritual world. That is what Sri Rupa Goswami's line of thought is. It originally comes from Shri Radha Krishna. So the immediately accessible framework of rasa in the material world is that which is present in kavya, in poetry. So to understand that in itself will give a head start to a devotee who wants to understand bhakti ras, because then bhakti ras means you just change a few details and then you come to know how bhakti ras is superior to rasa on the material world. That's all. Otherwise, most of the principles remain similar. So that is what it is. But yeah, please go ahead.
yeah, Prabhu, such concepts are generally not discussed and left aside. So thank you for discussing such concepts. I have a trivial question. Like many times, some devotees says like that about the snan part of the class. Some says that the mantra that Gange cha Yamune chaiva, that we invoke all the holy rivers in the water that we use for our bathing. I heard some devotees saying that, but we are using this water for our bathing. So how can we take service from the holy rivers? They are Krishna's servant, so we should not take service from them. So how should we reply, or how should we understand?
The purpose of manifesting of Ganga Devi in this world was because Sagar Maharaj's 60,000 sons, and had to get purification and liberation. So that was the purpose for which Ganga Devi manifested. So Bhagirath Muni manifested Ganga Devi for this purpose, so that all people could benefit. Now, if somebody is becoming a super Bhagirath Muni and saying that no, Ganga should not be, then he should perhaps send Ganga back to the spiritual world. He say, I will only agree to you if you manage to become the next Bhagirath Muni and send Ganga back to the spiritual world. Otherwise, I'll listen to the de facto Bhagirath Muni who brought her down for our benefit. So she is there for our benefit. She is present here. And if we are still, adding arguments to it, then it is not good. Bhagirath Muni brought her down because for the benefit of all the human beings in Bharatvarsha, and around the world. So one should not, try to put further arguments on top of that. So that is the answer. You send her back, and then you if you truly believe in that, you send her back to the spiritual world. That is the answer I would give. All right.
Sweet answer, bro. Thank you so much.
Very well.
Thank you. Straight questions, straight answers. Okay. We will go to Swarupini Harini Mataji. You can unmute.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Sadhar Pranam. Thank you for a nectarian class again. Prabhuji, I have one question in a slide that you presented today. Complete bathing in Bhakti Rasa. Fading of skin tone. I didn't get that. Could you explain?
It is called Vaivarnya. Vaivarnya is, I'll give you an example of this, but this is not exactly an example, but you can relate to this example. When somebody is walking in the dark of the night and suddenly they see a ghost, or they see something that looks like a ghost, their whole face becomes faded. The whole color of the skin changes. In Hindi we say chehre ka rang ud gaya. That is what we say in Hindi, chehre ka rang ud gaya. So Vaivarnya. the color of the body fades, the color of the body changes due to some element of surprise or due to some element of rus. So that is what is Vaivarnya. So I hope you were able to relate to the example that I gave.
Thank you, Prabhuji. I could. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Vamshidhari Gopal Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Am I audible?
Yeah, also visible. Thank you.
Okay, thank you Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Yeah.
So Prabhuji, I have very simple trivial question. So when we say that we should chant mantra, so then from Bhagavatam 1 pastime, that Chiradan pastime of Krishna, so that Gopis Vastra, that pastime, that it is mentioned that they were bathing naked in the river, which is not good. Because of that, that happened. So especially when in home we are bathing, and if you are chanting mantras, is it okay or not okay? Or because that's the confusion I always had. Or if it is just Hare Krishna Mahamantra, because there are no rules for it, so we can at least chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
So there's nothing like that. Nam Sankirtan, there are no hard and fast rules, and we will discuss this in Siksastakam. Nam Akari Bahuda Tatra Arpita Niyamitah Smaranena Kalaha. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's own personal example also with Gopal Guru Goswami, where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was holding his tongue because he was going for his Shauch Kriya, for his daily morning cleansing rituals. And he was holding his tongue, and Gopal Guru Goswami asked, Gopal, his name was Gopal, he asked, why are you holding your tongue? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I am in an impure state of body, and my tongue still wants to chant Bhagavan's Naam, so it is not appropriate. And then Gopal said, at the moment of death, the body is very impure. Will you still have this consideration, or will you still ask everybody to follow that same consideration? And Mahaprabhu said, Arre Gopal Guru, you gave me the answer. You are Guru, Gopal Guru. So that's how Gopal became Gopal Guru Goswami, because he gave an instruction to Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which Mahaprabhu deeply appreciated, that at the moment of death, anyways, there's going to be so much impurity in the body. And all the elements of the body, kapha, vata, and pitta will be disturbed. So these considerations do not apply to Nam Sankirtan. So happily sing Nam Sankirtan. Please don't worry about it. All right. Select your favorite Swapriya Nam.
Yeah,
all right. Hare Krishna, you're doing on Japmala. In the bathroom, you can't take Japmala. So at least you have the freedom. Swapriya Nam. Chant your name. Chant the name which is dearmost to you. All right. That freedom you have. But those names should be from Shastra, from previous acharyas. Right? Or even if they are songs of Krishna from folk culture. Those songs are also allowed as long as the mood is bona fide. So where is it specified that folk songs can also be sung? Provided, but you have to be very clear that the mood is perfectly in alignment with Gaudiya Vaishnava mood. If you're not sure, then sing Gaudiya Vaishnava songs. And if you're sure if the mood of a particular Lokik song, folk song, is in mood with Gaudiya Vaishnavism, then you can sing it. I will show that verse. Here it is 11.2.39. I am sharing the screen. शृण्वन् सुभद्राणि रथाङ्गपाणिर् जन्मानि कर्माणि च यानि लोके गीतानि नामानि तदर्थकानि गायन् विलज्जो विचरेद संगः 11.2.39. So thus the holy names of the Lord are sung throughout the world. All right. So in the original verse it is said loke. Loke means those songs, Gitani Namani, those songs and those names which are popular in Loka, in folk culture. What is the intention here is folk culture, because there are many folk cultures in India, and those folk cultures have many names of Bhagwan. For example, sometimes people say Kana. Kana is Krishna's name, but this is not a Sanskrit name. It is a name in folk culture. Then there is a name in Jagannath Puri, they call him Kaliya. Kaliya is, you
Kaliya.
know, not the dark one. So this is a name from folk culture. The question arises, do names from folk cultures also can also be chanted? So the answer is given that through this verse is the Praman 11.2.39. And I will share the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur because before I forget this point, I want to make this point in this particular series of presentations that this singing of Laukik Bhagwan Nam is also very much appreciated by our previous acharyas. This is 11.2.39. You are able to see the screen? Yes?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Okay, so Srila Sridhar Swami says, Yani Loke Gitani Prasiddhani. Songs which are popular in the world. But those songs should be Krishna conscious songs. He's not speaking about movie songs. Krishna conscious songs, which are Tani Shridman Gayamsta Vicharet, roam around while singing and hearing those songs. So make a culture around bhakti songs, but those bhakti songs should be aligned with our Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy. So Shri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says here, let me see here. You can see here Kahana, iti, Kanada, ityadi upon Gayan. So this he gives some names, Kana, or all these names also you can sing. So he says Lokamatre Gitani, Apabhramsha Bhashaya api Nibbadhani, even if they are in Apabhramsha, if they are in local language, go and sing, no problem. Concession is given to you. But I am adding a footnote there. My footnote is, please ensure that the songs are in perfect alignment with the Gaudiya Vaishnava mode. And if you're unsure about it, then sing songs which are by the previous Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharya, so you don't have to worry about authentication separately. All right? Chalo. I hope that satisfies your query. Thank you.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Very wonderful, Prabhuji. We'll go to Swarupini Harini Mataji.
Right.
You can unmute, Mataji. Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I'm done asking my question.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
We'll lower her hand. Okay. And also Vamshidhari Gopal Prabhu's.
Yeah. And so we have a question from Sakhi Sharan Prabhu. He cannot raise his hand. You can unmute yourself.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Very good.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Excellent, again, as normal. Prabhu, as you mentioned, the Snapanam is a ceremonial bath, right?
Yeah.
And it looks like it's like an emperor bathing himself, like Lord Ramchandra's coronation or Yudhishthir Maharaj's coronation. So similarly, in the Vedic texts, if we see the Vedas, the original ones, does Harinam supersede all these also then? Because it's the king now, after you have proven that it's cleansed the mind, soul, every aspect of it. So how different it would be from the Vedic mantras being chanted in any of the Vedas?
So the Vedic mantras which are being chanted in most of the Vedas, because Shri Krishna has said in the Gita, Traigunya Vishaya Veda. Traigunya Vishaya means the three modes are the main subject matter of the Vedas. It's not that bhakti is not there. Bhakti is there in the Vedas. There are hymns in the Rig Veda which are directly for chanting of Bhagwan Vishnu's name. Vishnu Nunamani, there is a Vedic Rig Veda hymn. But you will find one or two like this, very handful or selected them. Most of the Vedic hymns are Traigunya Vishaya. Traigunya Vishaya means the subject matter is attainment of worldly prosperity, attainment of Swarga, something like that. And that is also good because at least you are asking for something auspicious, no problem. But Harinam is standing on top of it because Harinam gives you what most of the Vedas cannot give. Most of the Vedas are able to elevate you. I'm speaking about the four Samhitas, Rik, Sam, Yajur and Atharva. Right. They'll elevate you to Swarga, and that is perhaps, the intended destination for those who are Veda Vadarata. Veda Vadarata means those who are very dedicated to Vedas. Above the Vedas, on the top of Vedas are Upanishads, Vedant. Right. And those Upanishads are somewhat they have some mentions of glorification of Bhagavan's Nam. And Sri Rupa Goswami says in the first verse of Namashtakam, actually, I'll get straight to the point. In Stavavali, in in Stavamala of Srila Rupa Goswami, there is Namashtakam, and in Namashtakam, the very first verse, I will share my screen and then we can have a look up as to what Sri Rupa Goswami directly wants to say about your query. Nikhila Shruti Mauli. Nikhila Shruti, take all the Vedas. You understand many of these terms. Mauli, the crest jewel of that, are Upanishads. And those Upanishads are like a Ratnamala. They are like a series of jewels. The Upanishads are like a series of jewels. And Dyuti, there is some effulgence coming from those jewels. Nirajita Pada Pankajanta. And that effulgence is bathing the lotus feet of a certain personality. And which personality? Ai Mukta Kulai Rupasyaman. That personality is worshipped by the liberated ones. Who is that? Harinam. Oh Harinam, you are that personality whose lotus feet are being bathed by the effulgence of those Upanishads which are standing as crest jewel on top of all the Shrutis. So that is the answer to your query by Srila Rupa Goswami.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Nice. Thank you so much.
Namashtakam first verse is the reference. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
May I ask a question, Prabhuji, on this?
Yeah.
So again, I'm no expert or I'm not read well in the Upanishads or anything like that, but I have read Shri Ishopanishad because it is commented on by our dear Srila Prabhupada. And from that and a little bit that I may have read here and there, the sense I get is that now the way Srila Prabhupada, and he has based his commentaries largely on the commentary of Sri Baldev Vidyabhushan and Sri Vedanta Deshika as well, which is perfectly, all of them are in alignment. So our previous acharyas have commented, for example, on Shri Ishopanishad to bring out the person or the personal nature of Bhagavan through the verses or through the Shri Ishopanishad. Now, out of curiosity, I looked the other side. What do the opponents say? And picked up a couple of commentaries and read on the Shri Ishopanishad, and obviously they give a different commentary. Sure. Now, as a contrast to Bhagavad Gita, for example, where there are so many verses where Lord Shri Krishna is talking directly about the person, personal form, and even those opposite parties are unable to give a twist on it. And even if they give, it looks like a twist. It's very clear even to the apparent reader. Sure. So the personal aspect is very hard to ignore because it's right there in the verse.
Sure.
So my question with that background is again, I'm not at all well read in the Upanishads, but my suspicion, or at least reading from Shri Ishopanishad, is that it's largely dependent, and Namashtakam, of course, is Gaudiya Vaishnava rendering, so or a composition, but the Upanishads are largely interpretation based, or based on the line or the sampradaya of the commentators, and they will comment on it in that way. So that is perfectly understood, and I am perfectly happy with that. But I'm asking for your comments on how do we is there something there that is very direct or very undisputable, and there is not something otherwise which is undisputable from our side as well, that's saying it is not demonstrating.
Of course, yeah.
Always be these, yeah. So just wanted to hear your commentary on this topic.
See, Upanishads have Bhed Vakyas and Abhed Vakyas. Bhed Vakyas means statements that differentiate between Jiva and Brahma. Abhed Vakyas are statements which have non-difference of Jiva and Brahman. So there are Bhed Vakyas, there are Abhed Vakyas, there are statements that support Bhakti also. Isn't it given in the Upanishads? Yasya deve para bhaktir, yatha deve tatha gurau. tasyaite kathita hyartha prakashante mahatmana. You will find such statements that whosoever has bhakti in Guru and Bhagwan, only to that person will the import of Shastra be revealed. So that is where bhakti is slightly highlighted. Then there are statements where clear distinction between Brahman and Jiva. Or there are statements in Upanishads where Brahma, the absolute truth, has various qualities. Sarva rasaha, sarva gunaha, all tastes, all qualities are present. But that same Upanishad, arupam, ashabdam, asparsham, avyayam, without qualities, without modifications. So Upanishads are designed in such a way because Veda is kalpataru. Vedas are for everybody. Where will the impersonalists go if those who don't want to perceive Shakti of Bhagwan, if they go to the Vedas and say, we want to, for us, the impersonal is the highest. Veda, give us something. So Veda mercifully says, all right, take Upanishads. And so the devotees go to the Vedas and say, Vedas, give us something. The Vedas say, all right, take Itihas, take Puran, take all of these things, take Bhagwan's Naam. So everybody has gotten something from the desire tree of Veda. How can we deny somebody their genuine right? So Upanishads is impersonal knowledge. It is impersonal knowledge. There is no denying it. And yes, in Shrijiv Goswami says in Tattva Sandarbha, Yasya Brahmeti Sangyam Kvachitapi Nigame Yati Chin Matra Sattapi. So his main Sangya, his main nomenclature in the Upanishads is Brahma. That is his main nomenclature. In Chaitanya Charitamritam also, this thing is confirmed. Adi 1.3. Yadadvaitam brahmopanishadi tadapyasya tanubha ya atmantarijami purusha iti sosyam shavibhava chadaishwaryai purno yaiha bhagavan sa swayamayam na chaitanyat krishna jagati paratatvam paramiha. Yadadvaitam brahmopanishadi, that which is impersonal in the impersonal Brahma in the Upanishads. Very clearly it is said by Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. You can see the word for word, Prabhu. What is the word for word? Yadadvaitam brahmopanishadi.
That which non-dual, the impersonal Brahman in the Upanishads.
Wonderful. So that is what it is. The non-dual impersonal reality in the Upanishads. But that is tadapyasya tanubha. That impersonal Brahman is nothing but the effulgence of his body. So that is what the devotees say. So let them have their set of literature, so that they'll be proud about their set of literature. Otherwise, how will they become dedicated towards their path? They have to attain mukti, liberation. So they need a serious set of literature in that direction. Otherwise, you are saying, let all the physics student understand that actually all physics is nothing but mathematics. That's not how it works. Mathematics is a very integral part of physics. But physics also has its own dimensions. And let it have that, separate beauty and dimensions. Otherwise, you'll merge physics into mathematics and say all physics is mathematics, which obviously is not justified. You'll close down the physics department. Do you want to do that, Prabhuji? No. All right. So let's have it separate.
Broad-mindedness is at the heart of.
Of course. Ekam sat vipra bahuda vadanti. Vedic culture. One truth is spoken in many ways by the learned people.
Wonderful. Thank you, Prabhuji. It's so lovely to hear your thoughts on these deep topics, which are not often heard or not often spoken or discussed. Thank you so much. Okay, we'll go to Omkareshwar Prabhu.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu, Hare Krishna to His Grace Hari Prasad Prabhu, Param Karuna Prabhu, and all the respected Vaishnavas. Prabhu, thank you very much. I have a small follow-up doubt, follow-up question about the Lok Gita. So you have, Prabhu, very nicely clarified about the Lok Gita, that we can also chant the Lok Gita and sing. if we have a proper Gaudiya Vaishnava bhava. So this gives me a very good understanding now, because earlier I was in doubt if we can really we know a lot of Lok Gita of Radha Krishna from Braj, and I was always hesitating if we can really recite them and continue, because we have heard that we only recite our Gaudiya Vaishnava bhajans. So my question is, like, you have clarified from Srimad Bhagavatam verse 11.2.29 that we can also recite the Lok Gitam with our proper bhav of Gaudiya Vaishnavism. But my question is, like, can we also sing them in the temple programs, like in festivals, or we can do only privately at our home? This is like more private, or also in the public programs?
See, the temple is affiliated with an institution. Institutions are affiliated to a sampradaya. So, so Lok Gita or folk songs are pertaining to one's own taste. Somebody may be singing a I belong from Marathi culture. So my birth is in Marathi culture. So I would sing a Lok Gita from Marathi culture. There's so many nice ones. So many nice ones. There's one Radha Dhara Madhumilinda Jai Jai. That is one of the best songs I've heard. Radha Adhar Madhumilinda. Oh, honeybee sucking upon the nectar dripping from Radha's lower lip. All glories to you. That is what a wonderful song it is in Marathi. But it may not, that language or that song may not be appreciated by somebody who belongs to another culture. Since ours is an international society, therefore we need to have a common base for everybody to agree upon. The common base is Gaudiya Vaishnava songs. So my suggestion is Hare Krishna Mahamantra takes the primary role in temple singing. And if there is occasion for singing other Gaudiya Vaishnava songs, for example, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur's appearance is there, you sing his songs, And if on a certain occasion, and I don't want to be too rigid, if on a certain occasion it is the audience wishes to hear a particular devotional song and it is in full alignment with our Gaudiya Vaishnava mood, then an optional exception can be made. But in general, I would say that, institutional boundaries are stricter than individual boundaries. So that is what I'd like to say. Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji. So thank you so much, Prabhuji. For example, Prabhuji, sometimes like one Aarti we always sing in the Braj is Aarti Kunja Bihari ki, Girdhar Krishna Murari ki. So can we sing such a Aarti also, or it's
so the thing is,
festivals?
Gaudiya Vaishnava will say, the Gaudiya Vaishnava may say, okay, the Gaudiya Vaishnava may say that the Gaudiya Vaishnava Aarti is mainly of Shri Radha and Krishna together. And if you say Aarti Kunj Bihari ki, there is no mention of Radha in the very first line itself. But if you see Gaudiya Vaishnava, Jai Radha Madhava, Jai Kunja Bihari, so there is mention of Shri Radha in the first line. Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha, Jai Girivardhari. Girivardhari is also in this, but there is mention of Shri Radha. So therefore, the Gaudiya Vaishnava mood is very specific to bring Shri Radha and Krishna together in Nikunja Seva. And those songs where Radha and Krishna are together, those songs are valued in Gaudiya Vaishnava culture. So there are some sampradayas in Vraja who prefer to sing only Shri Radha's name. We respect their preference. We don't speak, we don't want to go to their place and tell them what they should be doing. But at least we have our mood that we want Shri Radha and Krishna together. And that is what we also want in our songs. And that is, unless we are singing songs of separation. But usually when we are singing songs of union, we want to have songs where Radha and Krishna are together. So those are the types of songs we want to have. That is what I'm speaking about Gaudiya Vaishnava culture. I like this particular song from Marathi culture, Radha Dhara Madhumilinda Jai Jai, because the very first line is Radha. The very first term of that song is Radha. So, and Sri Krishna is right there, like a honeybee sucking upon the lower lip nectar of Sri Radha. That is a very, very nice song, and I really appreciate that song. But I would not sing it in a temple setting. It's for my private singing.
Thank you very much, Prabhu, for clarifying this very nicely. Thank you.
If I may have a quick follow-up in this line of thought, like you mentioned, the Gaudiya Vaishnava mode. My fundamental question is to little bit distill out through your commentary the mood of Gaudiya Vaishnava acharyas and what should our mood be. And what I'm understanding from you is it's to see Shri Radha and Krishna together.
Yeah.
And even in separation, it is the longing or the hankering of the gopis or the devotees who are feeling separation from none other than Shri Krishna.
Right.
So there is that aspect as well of separation from Krishna, which is burning the heart of the devotee, whether it is Narottam Das Thakur from Lord Chaitanya or the gopis from Shri Krishna.
Right.
Even in separation, could you say a little bit more on the aspect of remembrance or basically wanting to see Radha and Krishna together, even in separation? Would you kindly?
Yeah. So in the very morning song of Tulsi Aarti, we sing Radha Krishna Seva Pao Ei Abhilashi. So our desire is Radha and Krishna Seva together. And in songs of union, like we have Prana Mora Yugala Kishore by Sri Narottam Das Thakur. Kalindira Kule Keli, on the banks of Yamuna, there is the forest of Kadamba, both are sitting, and then Lalita Devi, Vishakha Devi are making garlands, and then they're swinging on the swing. These are songs of union. Then there are songs of separation. In songs of separation, there are Chandidas and Vidyapati, where they are singing about, the separation that occurred after Sri Krishna left. And Sri Radha said, he came and he took my heart away, and then I'm still longing for him to come. A single moment is appearing to me like so many decades. So that Krishna comes out in the remembrance in those songs. Although they may not be together, but Krishna comes out as remembrance in those songs. Why do we sing those songs if they are painful to Sri Radha? We sing those songs for the pleasure of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because Krishna wanted to relish the mood of Sri Radha, and we want to facilitate that as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we sing those songs of separation specifically for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And and also in the spiritual world, when Sri Radha is in separation, there may be some songs to calm her down. So, those songs are also Gaudiya Vaishnava songs, what brings relief to the mood of Sri Radha. So all those songs are according to occasion sung, but both Krishna and Sri Radha, either they should be present together in union, or at least the memory of both of them should be present in the songs of separation. Short and sweet, that is what can be said.
Or as you have said in the past, to take sides with Srimati Radha.
Yeah, to take sides. Bhava Ullas Rati. Yeah, that is what it is. Okay. But it's not that, very rarely you may find a song. In Gopal Champu, there may be one or two. But I have not yet seen where Krishna is only speaking about himself and Sri Radha is only speaking about herself. So they are not self-centered personalities. They are deeply, eternally in love with each other, and we should bring out that love. That is the Gaudiya Vaishnava.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, Prabhuji. Okay, we'll go to Kanai Sundar Prabhu. Before we come back, I see 2 hands raised from the second round. So we are just covering all the first time. Go ahead.
Thank you so much for the class, Prabhuji. My question was regarding the use of popular local tunes, Prabhuji, not the words. Which is it based upon our Siddhanta presented by our Acharyas, or against it, Prabhuji, to use tunes?
Tunes. Okay. Yeah. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur has made a direct statement about that, and I will share that statement of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And Prabhu, you can you kindly read what Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has said? I will share my screen. Please read what Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has said. I had shared this on the Facebook page some days ago. Please read this, Prabhu.
We saw many people performing kirtan with mridanga and kartal, giving up their leather shoes, yet we did not find any tulsi beads on their neck. If even some people do have tulsi beads, they are new ones. This creates some doubts. Many people have not decorated their bodies with 12 marks of tilak. In order to hear kirtan in the Mahajana's way, we went to Neemtala Ghat one day, Joda Sanko another day, and Jhamat Pukar on yet another day, but we could not find any such things. We were extremely pained to hear kirtan performed by nyadas, bauls, and other unauthorized people in the tune of cinema songs. But
In the tune of cinema songs. All right. So
Oh,
this is hitting your point. Exactly, you wanted to hear this, right? This is what
yes.
you. All right. Please keep reading.
But our pain was somewhat diminished by hearing the eternal names of Hari, Krishna, and Ram uttered by them in the course of their singing. Those who possess love and devotion in their hearts love to hear kirtan in the old and ancient tune. They do not like to hear or sing useless topics. They sing and hear the pure holy names of Hari in the old tune. Due to lack of good association, the residents of this metropolitan city do not easily realize the characteristics of pure devotional service. Therefore, they follow their own concocted process. Anyhow, our Sri Gauranga is most merciful, since he has mercifully allowed the residents of Calcutta to perform kirtan. We hope that gradually he will reveal pure devotional service in their hearts.
Yeah. So this is Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's very clear opinion on using cinema tunes. So you can take an old folk tune. I hope you're able to understand. Because folk tunes are often based on simplicity of instruments. You can take an old folk tune which is of sattvic nature, and you can perhaps blend it in a particular kirtan. But Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was against cinema tunes. So I need to make this distinction between old folk tunes and modern cinema tunes, because you can sing Hare Krishna on the same tune as a modern movie, but the immediate impression it generates in the mind is people start thinking about the movie song instead of thinking about Bhagwan. So it is better to sing old tunes which don't generate those particular impressions. Tunes which are so old that people don't have any memory of it, old folk tunes. Those are preferable, or the best is to take classical tunes from Indian music, Hindustani Sangeet. Or even if there are Western folk tunes, but with old, very old classical Western folk tunes, but which are inspiring sattva, which are inspiring goodness within the heart, those tunes can be used, right? Thank you.
Really, I have a little bit of a, sorry, I'm kind of keep injecting my question, but could you clarify? I mean, I'm not at all doubting or it's a Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur left this planet in about 1915. And cinema, as I understand, was not present, or at least the audible, it was like just what you call those Charlie Chaplin type movies, which had no audio in it. How do we, is there something kind of a little bit seems mismatch, or could you please throw some light on this, Prabhuji?
I think cinema was already going on in the Western world, and there were gramophones which had tunes from cinema that were coming to India. And I still remember there was some sort of cinema, some initial form of cinema going on, because Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was invited to a meeting where a cinema actress would be present, and Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur refused to go to it. I remember there's one such incident in his life. He refused to go to it because he didn't want to go to it. So they invited another spiritual personality who agreed to come. So in any case, there was some initial form of cinema, or at least the gramophone, which, for, what is a gramophone? They used to have. So those songs used to come on gramophone. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was knowing that there are these songs of cinemas coming out on gramophones, and people are then using those songs to make kirtan tunes. So that is perhaps the reason for writing it in this way.
Got it. Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. We'll go to Dorothea Mataji. Kriparam Prabhu shared another valuable reference. I want to show it. It's 11:27:45. Krishna is saying, Stavai rucha vachai stotrai pauranai prakritairapi stutva prasida bhagavan iti vandeta dandavat. 11:27:45. The devotee should offer homage to the Lord with all kinds of hymns and prayers, both from Puranas and from other ancient scriptures, and also from ordinary traditions. So this is another confirmation that loka or folk culture. When it says ordinary tradition, I will I will put here a footnote in the bracket saying folk culture. Okay, this is how ideally this should be interpreted. Folk culture is good, especially in India. Or praying, "Oh Lord, please be merciful to me." He should fall down like a rod to offer his obeisance. So this is another praman for taking elements of music, etc., from folk culture. All right, let's have her query. Yes, Dorothea Mataji, are you able to? Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for bringing out that point that we Gaudiya Vaishnavas are trying to bring Radha and Krishna together through song. And my question would be, to which degree can one actually participate in bringing Radha and Krishna together, or mitigating Shri Radha's pain? Because not everyone may have the same qualifications, but if one has actually the desire, the sincere intention to do that, and they may not have any formal qualifications, is that still possible for that person?
The service of Radha and Krishna pertains to Siddha Deha, perfected body. It cannot be accessed in the Sadhak Deha. So you can go all the way up till the final union of Sri Radha and Krishna, which is called Samprayog in Ujjwal Nilmani. And I had spoken about Samprayog in Upadeshamritam series. So all the way up till facilitating Samprayog of Sri Radha Krishna can be done, but that is a subject matter of Siddha Deha. It is not a subject matter of Sadhak Deha. In the Sadhak Deha, it is possible to render service to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because to render service to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the gateway to render service to Sri Radha Krishna. So whatever songs are pleasing to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because he's in the mood of Sri Radha, those songs should be offered to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And according to the time of the day, there are songs, but those all things need to be learned from a guru, because it cannot be spoken in a general lecture. Which song should be sung at which time? So those songs need to be learned from a specific guru, but that too after our bhajan kriya has begun, after we know the aim, and after we have after a serious execution of bhajan kriya has taken place. That is when, because first the naam of Bhagwan, the roop of Bhagwan, the gun of Bhagwan, the lila of Bhagwan, the naam, roop, gun, lila of Sri Radha, all those are given in the beginning of Sri Ujjwal Nilmani, Nayak Prakaran, Haripriya Prakaran. So who is Krishna? What is his persona? What are the qualities of Krishna? How Krishna acted in a certain way. Was he acting as Dhir Lalit, Dhir Prashant, Dhir Udat, Dhir Uddhat? How was he acting? Why did he act in a certain way? How does Bhagwan behave? How does Sri Radha react? So all that requires a lot of training. You can't just directly sing a song, because you may sing a song, no doubt, but the feelings associated with the song only come to life when you are aware of the personas of both personalities. That should happen first. And then, just as Rukmini got attracted to Krishna by hearing of his persona, the devotees become attracted to Krishna and Radha hearing about their persona. And then the singing of songs makes sense. Otherwise, we are putting the cart before the horse. First, the horse should come, then the cart should come. First, the name of Krishna, the meanings of the names, the qualities of Krishna, the persona of Krishna, the pastimes of Krishna, the personality of Krishna, the qualities of Krishna. So many qualities are given in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. And then, how Krishna is attractive as himself. how Krishna is attractive in other bodies. Sometimes Krishna is attractive in other bodies also. For example, when he became the calves and cowherd boys. So Baladev became so attracted to looking at him and said, I don't know what is happening. I'm finding equal pleasure in looking at this cowherd boy and in looking at Krishna. This is one of how Krishna becomes attractive in other bodies, how Krishna becomes attractive in his own body. So there are so many aspects of the persona to be explored. So systematic and gradual approach is needed for that. And so that systematic and gradual approach will make everything clear. Otherwise, you will put a certain piece of the puzzle together, but remaining pieces, due to lack of that, the full nourishment or full relishment may not be there. So, and many doubts may arise. So that is why I am suggesting that proper sequence should be followed under the guidance of a qualified guru. That is my reply to it. Right?
Thank you, Prabhu. May I please ask one follow-up query?
Sure.
Or I can also send the line.
Sure. No problem.
Okay,
You can
thank
answer.
you. I remember one time in one talk, I don't remember which one, but you said that when we do Nama Kirtan or Nama Japa, like something to do with Nama, then we focus on Shri Radha Krishna, and when we do other sevas, like with our physical body, with our Sadhakadeya, then we focus on Śrī-Caitanya Mahaprabhu's service. So maybe I misunderstood that. So in this context, would you like to elaborate?
I don't remember exactly what was said, but roughly I can say something. Service of Shri Radha Krishna is not possible in the sadhaka deha, in the body of a practitioner, because nobody can enter those particular pastimes in a sadhak deha, in the body of a practitioner, especially somebody who's having a masculine body cannot enter and serve into those pastimes. So feminine body is needed, and feminine body also, then the ladies may think, oh, we have a feminine body, we will enter directly. No, a feminine body also needs to be born in Gopajati, in the family of cowherds, because they will not allow somebody who is not a cowherd into their service. So feminine body also needs to be born in a family of cowherds in order to be allowed into the service of Shri Radha Krishna. Therefore, it needs a Siddha Deha. Whether you are currently in a masculine body or feminine body, as a sadhaka, doesn't matter. It needs a Siddha Deha. So that Siddha Deha is attained by practicing of sadhan bhakti under the guidance of a guru. But as long as Siddha Deha is not attained, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come in the mood of a sadhaka. So we can render service to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the six Goswamis, their mood in the currently available body that we have. This body can be used to render service to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by singing songs to bring pleasure to him. And in Siddha Deha, service of Radha and Krishna is possible. Therefore, in deity worship also, before entering on the altar, a person with masculine ego cannot touch Sri Radha's body. Therefore, there is Bhuta Shuddhi. Bhuta Shuddhi means first giving up of this body and entering on the altar with another body. That is called Bhuta Shuddhi. Otherwise, no masculine person can touch the body of Sri Radha or change her clothes. So nobody will be allowed to do that. So many individuals don't realize what is the purpose of Bhuta Shuddhi. The purpose is to give up this conception of body and identify with another body before somebody touches the body of Sri Radha. Only after assuming the role of or taking the identity of a cowherd girl can somebody touch the body of Sri Radha. So that is called Bhuta Shuddhi. So that seva requires a different body. In this body, you can render service to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that is the answer to the query.
Thank you so much for your patience. Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Prabhuji, so like rendering service, I am understanding at least deity worship from that angle.
Right.
So most devotees, as per instructions from our from Srila Prabhupada and current Vartaman Guru Vrinda, we invite Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to our home. But after some years of seva of Gaur Nitai, devotees sometimes want to bring Bal Gopal Ji or even Shri Radha Krishna to worship after they have spent some time serving So then what do you, is that something that one should, is it okay to consider, or one should?
So every devotee should look at their specific mood. Which bhav, which mood do they want to worship Bhagwan in? And is that mood accepted by the sampradaya? So everybody should try to know their sampradaya, their gurus. It's not that I like Bhagwan in this way, so I will worship him. Why put the I first? Better is to understand the mood of the Guru Janas, the mood of the sampradaya. What seva does the sampradaya expect from us? And then is there any seva which we are inclined to? Which mood do we want to worship Bhagwan with? And if our mood is aligned with the mood given by the previous acharyas, we can easily consult our Guru Janas and they will happily give permission because it is in line with the sampradaya. But if it is not in line with the sampradaya, then why would they give permission? I'll give a small example of this. Earlier you had Bal Gopal. Bal Gopal means small deity of child Gopal. Nowadays you can also find deity of Bal Shri Radha, small child deity of Shri Radha. You can find, But I'm all right. See, I don't want to say anything. In some sampradayas they may be worshipping, but frankly speaking, such a worship was not done by our previous acharyas. It was not done by our previous acharyas. Why? Because we always wanted to see Sri Radha and Sri Krishna together. Even in their childhood, in their minds, they are thinking of each other. So we don't want to worship Sri Radha separately, Sri Krishna separately so much. We want to see them together. If you are worshipping a Laddu Gopal, small child like Gopal, then the worship is in the mood of Vatsalya, in the mood of parenthood. And then that's all right if he's not with Sri Radha, because the mood itself is very different. But it has to be approved by the Guru, and the Guru has to give a paddhati. Paddhati means an entire framework of worship. Without a paddhati, without a framework of worship, you cannot actually go about and do all the sevas to Bhagwan in a systematic manner. So there are paddhatis, there are frameworks of worship for every respective rasa. Those paddhatis need to be given by the Guru, and so that we can easily, without any hesitation, follow it and confidently attain our goal.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Vamshidhari Gopal Prabhu, did you have another question, or I saw your hand go down and come up again?
Yes, Prabhuji. I just have another simple follow-up question, Prabhuji. So when we chant Gayatri mantra, like second initiated mantra, and it is said that we should be in a clean condition. So when we are traveling or when it's not possible to take bath or purify ourselves before chanting the mantra, can we remember Krishna's name and first and then chant Gayatri, or we should definitely be in externally, internally clean, like taking the bath with water before we chant the mantras?
See, for second initiation mantras, purity is definitely required. But if you are stuck in a situation where external purity can't be there, I will give you a few suggestions. Please always carry a small bottle of Ganga water wherever you are traveling. A small water, wherever you are traveling. So most of the times I try to do that. I have a small bottle of Ganga water whenever I am traveling. If you don't have Ganga water, somehow you forget. Take ordinary water and then say Gange cha Yamune chaiva. All right, and then sprinkle upon your head. At least have some contact with water before you sit down for your Gayatri. This is only for situations where you are traveling and full bath may not be possible. So I hope that is clear. Okay.
Yes. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, towards the end of the chat, there are a couple of questions. Do you want to see?
If there's something very quick and not answered already.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if these are questions or more like comments with ending with a question mark.
Bhut Shuddhi also means cleansing of 5 elements and false. Yeah, Bhut Shuddhi means you cleanse all your material elements of the body and give up that ego and assume a new ego from the spiritual world. Prabhupada Lilamrit, don't you think there is a possibility of chanting a tune that would be more appealing to Western ears? Alan asks, any tune will do, said Prabhupada. Melody is not important. What is important is that you will chant Hare Krishna. It can be the tune of your own country. That doesn't matter. Wonderful. So this seems to be in slight contradiction with what Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's quote was given, that cinema tunes should not be used. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's concern is also valid, because cinema tunes, if we introduce any and every tunes within the Hare Krishna movement, then let me first listen to a cinema song, because that is the easiest source of inspiration. And then I can make hundreds of new tunes. But that's not how it is meant to be. Srila Prabhupada's concern was that introduce the mantra, somehow or other, introduce the mantra in the Western world. Now, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's concern was about mantras which were being sung in Bengal, where the tradition of Mahamantra is already established so nicely. So when the tradition is established very nicely, you take care that the tunes are traditional. And where you have to introduce Hare Krishna Mahamantra, you can take some urgent measures like the one Prabhupada said, but you cannot make this into a permanent rule. Because if you make this into a permanent rule, then so many tunes will attract people's mind in the direction of those movies and that music, and it will not be favorable for their bhakti, because there more and more absorption will be in those movies and musics. So that is what I would like to say in this regard. Anything else in the chat?
The very last one, there seems to be a question.
There was a question from Tulsi Mataji. Would it be appropriate to recite verses, prayers from Queen Kunti? Of course, you can recite while bathing, no problem. Please recite Bhagavatam verses while bathing. All right. Yes. Anything else?
There's a question at the very end. Naham Vipro Nachanarapati.
That is the Bhut Shuddhi mantra given in ISKCON. But there are other Bhut Shuddhi mantras given in other societies. Right.
That's it, Prabhuji. That's it. So that brings us to the end of today's wonderful session. Before we end, I would just like everybody to pray for the, Dhameshwar Mahaprabhu. Prabhu has had a new daughter, like Prabhuji mentioned. And, it's always, since the first few days. So let's all pray very from our hearts for the well-being of the daughter, for the mother and the elder sister Rangadevi and the entire family.
Yes.
And the one Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank
Let
you.
us all and thank Prabhuji for this wonderful nectar that we get to hear every Saturday. It's so rare and so precious. We should not underestimate the value of this that we are getting every week. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you. And I personally know how much investment he does. It looks like 2 hours of his time or 3 hours, but behind it is like 30 hours or more of research and thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Hare Krishna
Prabhuji ki jai.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Ki jai.
Prabhuji, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll close the. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Radhe Radhe.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.